Hey everyone! Well, this video is going to be a bit interesting. Sailor Moon Crystal. Yeah, you're probably wondering why the heck am I actually reviewing this. To be honest, it's for nostalgia because I kinda grew up with the series when I was younger. When I was young, my brother and I, we used to watch anime, but we didn't have that many channels. So Cartoon Network, we didn't have that. We didn't even have cable. We only had like WB and Fox and ABC, that kind of stuff. So every time we watch anime, it's gonna be like Dragon Ball Z or Yu Yu Hakusho, Rurouni Kenshin, or you may know it as Samurai X, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Digimon. Back then, we didn't watch as much anime as a lot of people did because we just didn't have the channels for it. So Sailor Moon, that played a lot when we were both young, and I dug the show. Am I a fan of it? No, not really, but I just took it as entertainment. Do I remember any of the characters' names? Do I remember the stories? Not really, no. It's just like a Transformers. I remember watching it a long time ago, and I remember liking it, but I don't remember everything from it. To me, Dragon Ball Z, I can remember everything about that, but for some reason, Sailor Moon or Transformers, no, I can't. I'm sorry. So for all you fans of Sailor Moon, I'm sorry if I got things wrong, but I do remember bits and pieces. Like I said, it was fun, but I don't remember that much from it. So, Sailor Moon Crystal. Like I said, I watched it for nostalgia. I didn't even know it existed until like a couple weeks ago. I saw a reaction video of Japanese girls looking at the footage, and I think it's like a Japanese Comic-Con kind of stuff. And they're like, oh my god, kawaii! Oh, sugoi! That kind of shit. So that made me laugh, but at that point I'm like, wait, this actually exists? They're actually remaking this or rebooting it? Okay, I'll give it a shot. So I watched it on Hulu, and well, this is going to be a review on both episodes, episode 1 and episode 2, which I believe came out on Saturday. So, Sailor Moon Crystal, episode 1. I honestly thought it was kind of boring. I'm sorry for all you fans. I mean, then again, I'm not a fan of Sailor Moon, so I guess it's expected of me to say that, but I don't know. I really dug the original episodes, and I guess the English dubbed helped a lot, so this is the first time I ever heard it, you know, in Japanese language. It's subbed, and not just that, I'm not a fan of the animation style. It looks modernized, sure, and it does look pretty at times, but at the same time, the design of the characters, they're not, to me, they're not expressive enough, and also the way they're designed, almost everyone's super skinny, especially the Sailor Scouts, so it's really weird, and they're like anime Barbie dolls. Actually skinnier than Barbie dolls. Jesus Christ. Usagi, who's Sailor Moon. I honestly did not like her in the first episode. I did not. And it's weird because I rewatched just the first episode of the original anime just a couple of minutes ago, actually, and I dug that one. I like the facial expressions on Usagi, and she's basically going through the same motions in both versions of the anime, but it's for the Crystal version, I honestly didn't give a shit about her until she finally becomes Sailor Moon. And that's when things are finally set in motion. And I gotta say about the transformation sequences. In the original anime, they are superb. You gotta admit that, even if you're not a fan of the Sailor Moon series, they are spectacularly well animated. And it's funny because compared to the rest of the animation throughout the episodes, the transformation sequences are the most detailed, more well done, and you can tell how much work, how much effort they put into the transformation sequences. And it's long. The sequences are long. And if you think a minute of animation isn't that long, no. It takes a lot of time and effort, seriously. It just looks great. In the original anime, it looks very, very good, and that's basically why I watched the show, because the transformation sequences are awesome. It's like the female version of the Power Rangers. You know, in the Power Rangers, you see Pterodactyl, Mastodon, Tyrannosaurus Rex, and then you see them put on the uniform and stuff. That looked awesome. And then you see the anime female version of that, and it looks pretty good. You have to admit that. So, the new one in Crystal, it looks pretty. That's all I can say about it, but it's weird because they chose the 3D CG route and they made it cel-shaded. I mean, it makes sense, but at the same time, I don't think they fully polished it enough. And I'm not saying that CG is lazy because I am a CG artist. It takes time and effort also, and you have to light it better, render it better, and you have to make sure the model is good and make sure everything's rigged up perfectly and stuff. So it's not lazy to do it in CG, but at the same time, when you see the 2D transformation sequences hand-drawn on paper, and then you see the CG, you're like, I understand the leap, but at the same time, it's not as impressive as it was back then. Also, when Sailor Moon finally opens up her eyes, she looks dead. She looks soulless. Seriously, that's why it just really doesn't work that well. And after the CG transformation sequence, she strikes a pose, and then it's just like watching the anime again. So it's just a weird transition. I mean, it makes sense on why they did that. To me, it felt like watching Digimon again with when Agumon or Gabumon warp Digivolve into their Mega forms and stuff. So that looked good back then. And also, the rest of the episodes are in 2D and they're not cel shaded or something. So when you see them in their transformation warp Digivolving CG transformations, it looked awesome back then. Kind of still looks awesome now, even though the CG looks dated, but almost everybody wants it to be in CG, but here, you might as well go full-on cel-shaded mode, seriously. I think that would work the best, but when you have the cel-shaded thing, it just doesn't look right to me at least. I think a lot of people are just happy that it looks almost exactly like the original series transformation sequences. I mean, pose by pose, and the colors and all that stuff. Yeah, I get that. I was kind of disappointed by that, and Sailor Moon is such a crybaby, and I kind of like that about her, that her biggest weakness turns out to be her biggest strength. She cries a lot, but she releases these ultrasound waves to defeat her enemies and distract them and stuff, phase them. So that was funny. And Tuxedo Mask. I am so sorry for all you fans. I still think that's a stupid name. Ever since I was little, I thought that was stupid. So even now, Tuxedo Mask, really? But at the same time, it kind of suits him. I'm not saying the character's stupid, and he can be badass if he wants to, but Tuxedo Mask, it sounds lazy. Yeah, Sailor Moon saves the day for episode 1, and at that point, I'm like, I wonder if episode 2 is gonna be just like the same boring shit again. But I gotta admit, episode 2 is so much better. I cared a lot about episode 2. Episode 1, I didn't even care about Usagi. I didn't care about her relationship with her mother and her brother, and that she's failing the test. I thought she was just a dumbass klutz. And also, you can't really tell because of the facial expressions. The voice acting is fine, but when you try to match the voice acting with the facial expressions, it just doesn't work. And sure, in the original anime, they made it so over the top with the Japanese facial expressions and stuff, but it really worked, and I was wondering why they didn't put that in here. I mean, there's a lot of anime recently that makes fun of these facial expressions. You could have taken full advantage of that, but I guess they want to make it realistic in that kind of sense. I don't know. And it's weird because I think there's a different animation team behind episode 2, because it looks like a drastic change from episode 1. Sure, it looks almost the same design-wise, but they put more expressions in the faces. I can actually feel what Usagi is feeling, and Sailor Mercury too, and everyone else. I can tell what they're feeling just by their faces. So, and the voice acting matches up with the faces. And every time they move, every time they strike a pose or attack or something like that, it looks more smooth, it looks more fluid. So, kudos, I'm actually happy with that. I guess it's just very subtle, but that subtle change helps so much. I gotta say, Sailor Mercury, I liked her in the original series, so here, I'm glad that they kept her character intact. And yes, she doesn't say anything for like 5-10 minutes in the beginning, but her facial expressions and how everyone talks about her and how she deals with it, I felt for her. I really did. I mean, she's a genius, a super genius, but she spent so much time studying and trying to be the best of the best, she forgot what it's like to have fun, and I don't think she actually has real friends. Probably, I mean, everyone has a friend, but she's just a loner, a lone wolf, and she wants to be a nurse like her mother, and you gotta respect that. I mean, kudos to the girl, but at the same time, she should know how to, you know, take a break and have fun, and that's the good thing I like about Usagi this time, even though she's still a dumbass, but I kind of like her being a dumbass in this one, because when she finally meets up with Ami, I believe that's the name of Sailor Mercury, I'm sorry if I totally forgot or messed that up, and she's already thinking, wait, if I become friends with her, probably she'll help me study better so I could be a genius too like her. So yes, it sounds selfish, but at the same time, she actually wants to be friends with Sailor Mercury, and that is good. And she made Sailor Mercury finally get a friend, and Sailor Mercury is so happy about all this. She's like, wait, this popular girl in school who is a dumbass is actually talking to me like a friend. And you can see her finally smiling, and it is great. I liked it. And the video game scene when she's perfect in the playing the video game and everyone's just cheering her on, and she looks around and realizes she's finally noticed for the first time in public. So that was good. I thought that was really handled very well. So when she finally gets brainwashed, I kind of felt sad about that, and I want her to get saved. So at least that's good for this episode. You actually care about the characters. So Sailor Moon tries to save Sailor Mercury, and all she has to do is disguise herself as a nurse at first, and that was weird. Yes, it's an awesome power, but at the same time I'm like, why does she have to strike a pose like that, and why does she have to choose a very skimpy nurse outfit? For the fanboys, I guess. Or fangirls. And then she tries to save Sailor Mercury, and she can't because she is such a crybaby. And I love that part because she accidentally uses her power. She just cries for no reason. She's like, oh, I don't want to die! Wah! And then she does her supersonic ultra power and breaks all the glass. So yeah, that is a neat power, but at the same time, Jesus Christ, girl. Grab some balls! I did like the enemy in this one because of her paper power, and recently in anime, people with paper power are pretty awesome, and she uses the paper and turns them into paper balls and hits Sailor Moon extremely hard and pins her against the wall. I thought that was pretty cool. And then Sailor Mercury finally becomes Sailor Mercury, and the transformation sequence, I think, is so much better for her compared to Sailor Moon. And even though it is kind of long, it is not as long as the Sailor Moon one. And here's the thing about the cel-shaded transformation sequences. At least they look good. I mean, if you pause it and you could frame it on your wall, it looks pretty. At least that's good. But for Sailor Mercury, the water effects in cel-shaded mode, it looks great. So her whole transformation sequence really, really works very well. Even though her eyes still have like the dead eye thing that Sailor Moon has, it's not shown that long. So at least that's pretty good. And what I love about all these Sailor Scouts so far is that after they strike a pose and after they transform, they're like, oh my god, what is this? What am I in? I'm like, really? Shouldn't you do the strike a pose thing after you do the, oh my god, what is this shit? And what I love about Sailor Mercury is that not only is she a genius, but for some reason she knows exactly what to do. So she automatically does the Aqua Mist move. And I'm like, Luna had to tell Sailor Moon exactly what to do step by step, but Sailor Mercury just did shit. Seriously, she just used her power easily. So I was like, ooh, this is gonna be awesome. She is great. But she tells Sailor Moon to do the tiara boomerang thing, and I'm like, really? Girl, you can kick ass now. I'm pretty sure if you know this power, you should know several others. Sailor Moon gets saved by Tuxedo Mask. Yeah, so far, girl power, right? We don't need a man to save us. Here's the thing about Tuxedo Mask. He can kill that bitch instantly, but he just doesn't want to. Either he's lazy, or he just wants everyone to do all the work, or he actually believes in Sailor Moon. I don't know. I don't get his deal. He could just defeat everyone instantly. So Sailor Moon did the boomerang thing on her and saves the day. But during this scene, one of the main bad guys is watching over this, and he's like, ugh, they killed one of my monsters. Oh my god, there's another Sailor Scout. I'm gonna turn my back and run away. Seriously, dude? Why don't you just send another monster? Or, I don't know, send a whole bunch? You have them right there. It's in an empty building. You could surround them. You could kill them off right now. But you are like, no, I'm lazy. I'm gonna take an episode break. And that's the thing I kind of don't like about this series, is because they're being faithful to the manga, so I'm okay with that. But at the same time, it really feels like the 80s and 90s. Seriously. I respect that in the 80s and 90s, the enemy sends one monster after them one by one, one per episode. So I got that in the original anime, but now I think they should be smart enough not to do that. If they want to win, if the bad guys want to win, just send all you got. Seriously, what the hell? You don't even know if they could take on all the monsters. They only took on 2 so far, and these monsters are pretty shitty if they get taken down with one hit. Come on, guys. Use your brain. I gotta say that the best thing about the series so far is the theme song. I really like the theme song. I don't know the lyrics, but the music is really catchy, and man, the opening was pretty good. I have to admit, the opening is the best part of each episode so far. So there you go. The opening theme is pretty damn good. So that's my thoughts on the Sailor Moon Crystal. I am not going to review any more episodes. I probably will in the future, but I'm not going to make this a thing, you know. I'm just doing this for nostalgia and tell everyone how I feel about Sailor Moon Crystal. So write down in the comments below, how do you feel about the Sailor Moon Crystal so far? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's better than the original series? Do you think it's worse than the original series? Let me know. The next anime I'm most likely reviewing is Pokemon Origins. Yep, Pokemon Origins. So if you like this video, please click the like button. If you like to subscribe, there's a button here for subscribing. So until next time, guys, see you later.